Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Court of Swords. Max will be joining it. Is he on time if his camera's on, or and he's?
I mean,
how does
I feel
that
like
work?
that's.
Should we?
Who gets to make that call? Who gets to decide? Who gets to be like, listen, this is what on time is, and this is what it isn't. I feel like if we're being charitable,
Yeah.
the camera on, and he's not in it, is still technically on time. We're able to start the show.
Okay.
It just means that we get a good couple of minutes lead on making fun of him before he gets here.
It's true. Maybe that's what that means.
It's the price yesterday.
Yeah. If you're not here, it's free reign to like if I get up and leave the seat, it's free reign for you guys to say whatever you want. I think that's only fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. And it's happened before. It's so there's precedent.
Yes.
That's how it goes. Yeah. That's how it goes. Adam, did you see the trailer for The Lighthouse? That's how we'll begin this.
Yes. I did. Yeah. Yeah. It looks like if the Vivitch and A Field in England had a baby, and it's go weird and ominous, and man, Willem Dafoe, that guy, he's
pretty good.
He's an actor. Yeah. So I'm really excited.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Or at least he can appear a little crazy. Yeah. I
Yeah.
wonder what
Well,
it's like
I mean,
to hang out with William Dafoe. Do you think he's just a normal guy?
Mm-hmm. Do you think he's ever just like, hey, you want to come over and I don't know, play Madden or something? Or do you go over to his house and he's sitting there in the dark, just like in clown makeup and his like tidy whities staring out the window, and you're like, hey Willem, and he's just like, when was the last time you saw Hamlet? And you're just like, oh, I don't know, man.
That's probably true. I don't know. I could see both scenarios. Both are exceptionally crazy in my mind. So I don't know. I don't know where that would be.
Yeah.
Now,
it looks
is
like
it just
it's gonna be
me,
good, though.
or is JP? Are you clipping?
Oh, I might
Seems
be.
like you're
That's why I was asking if I was loud. Yeah, I might be clipping.
You're a bit louder now than you were in the pre-show when I said that you weren't loud.
There we go. That's still too gainy. I'll keep adjusting here. That should be better. Let's go with like right there. That sounds good.
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry. I had to do the old, why is my mic not working? Oh, it's right channel only. So that's why no games pick it up. I need to switch it to left channel only by putting a piece of hardware on the audio. Apparently Windows patched all the issues in 1903, by the way. Not the year 1903. It's the update 1903.
Man, I feel like Windows 1903 was the best version of Windows, and it's really just gone downhill since then.
Yeah.
I am Windows
World War
1903.
I was the worst thing for software development.
It was. Thank
You
you,
want to go to the
1903.
stock hop?
We do, yes. Can you take us there, Windows 1903?
I feel like sock hops are like a 40-year anachronism. Like you're still go further. We gotta go further back. You gotta go further back.
I don't know a function that would happen in 1903.
Yeah,
they just went
right?
outside. It's like, hey, you want to go outside? I guess. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
There's not much. I don't know. We'll just go outside.
I
We're
wonder
sorry
that.
to announce that
and
the Windows 1917 patch will not be available on schedule, as it has been stolen by the Bolsheviks. Please hang on, and we will deliver it in 1922. Thank you.
Jesus.
that was Windows 1903. Was just fucking looking out the window. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
it wasn't called Windows yet. It was just called Window. And it was like, what?
Mother,
would you like
why
to
is
come
there
and
a
look out
patch
the
on your window?
Good Lord.
Oh, every time the window people come and fix it, they always fuck up something else. Like, yes, they fixed the clear glass, but they ruined the sill.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
Yep. It's
And
funny
that's
because we didn't have
why my
computers in
mic
the
was
19th.
peaking. So there we go. Wasn't peaking for the stream. It was just for you guys. So if people in the stream were like, "Hey, wasn't peaking," that has nothing to do with you guys. It's only people on the show. Adam, what have you been up to besides watching The Lighthouse?
I saw that trailer, The Lighthouse. I'm very excited. I watched. I feel like a lot of the movies that I've seen in the last little while have been from that studio. It's what, A24, I think is the studio. Yeah, A24 has been like really killing it for good movies lately.
They're kind of what Lionsgate
every time I
was
see
in like
one,
the aughts. Is that what you say? The aughts for the early 2000s? Is it the aughts?
I think that's a way you could say it.
Okay, we're gonna go with it.
Yeah, sure. But I went and saw the new Tarantino. I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like I feel like Quentin Tarantino sometime between Hateful Eight and I guess the production of this movie like he just kind of got in touch with like being a sad dude. Like he's just like, he's kind of just realizing like, oh, wait a second. Like if I can't just get by on just being Quentin Tarantino. I need to make good movies. And like the whole kind of first half of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is just like, what does it feel like to be struggling with potentially being washed up and like relying on your past successes? I was like, man, Quentin, you're getting like, he's pushing this kind of autobiographical feel with it that I thought was like surprising, because he's maybe the last person or among the last people in Hollywood that I would think of to make a movie about his own feelings. Sure. And his own like insecurities and stuff. But I thought there were elements of it that were like, he still definitely really likes feet, like a lot.
Oh yeah, I heard there's a lot of gratuitous dirty feet in the.
Yeah, it's like he chose to make a movie about yon hippie times, so he could be like, you know what there was a lot of in the hippie times, ladies with no shoes on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've heard. We're like, yes, Quentin, we know what you're. Thank you for showing them to us the whole movie. But yeah, it's maybe one of his like slowest, most thoughtful movies. And then it's like at the end, I'm not going to give anything away, but at the end, he's like, oh shit, wait a second, I have to Quentin Tarantino this.
Right.
And then there's like a whole bunch of stuff that happens.
I read the plot on Wikipedia because who has time to go see a movie? But, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like all of a sudden, all at once, there's this concentrated burst of like, oh shit, Quentin Tarantino. And I thought that was kind of interesting, but the pacing is super, super slow, and I kind of thought it worked for it. I really like that. And I honestly, like, Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio both were so good. Like they were just so awesome in it. And I don't think I've ever seen Brad Pitt do like vaguely menacing mixed with kind of like chummy and friendly in this way. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do it like that in a movie. But the whole movie, you're just like, I don't know if this guy is like nice and like funny and cool, or like if he's just gonna fucking snap and kill somebody with an axe handle.
Yeah.
And I thought that's all on Brad Pitt. Like that, the writing was fine, but like he did a fantastic job. I think if you like the stuff that the movie is based on, if you're interested in the 60s, you're interested in counterculture, you're interested in Tarantino movies or Hollywood and its mythology in general, or if you just like want to see a movie where Quentin Tarantino examines his own sadness, you should go check it out in the theater, because I feel like I like going to see movies in the theater, but Tarantino makes movies for the theater.
Right.
And I think, yeah, if you like films, if this seems like a thing you're into, but if you're just like, oh, like it's a movie that some guy made and some people are talking about it, you could probably wait on it. Like it's not going to do you any good to spend the $27,000 to go see it in the theater. But yeah, that was all right.
Okay. Good. All right. Any good previews? Any good? Are movies done for the summer? Is there anything else coming out? There's that Hobbs and Shaw movie, which just looks like stupid fun. I might actually go see that.
When's It 2 coming out?
Isn't that
not till September. Yeah, I think we're done.
September.
I think we're pretty much done for summer stuff for now.
Okay.
Gotta go see the Joker Hobbs got pushed back to October. Yeah, I'm not a big like Fast and Furious person, but every time I see that trailer, I'm like, yeah, all right, I'd see that.
They're really dialing in.
Adam, come on.
The Black Superman.
You're not in Fast and the Furious. Come on, I don't buy it.
I've only seen. I saw the first one, and I saw one of the other ones, and I don't remember which one it was. It wasn't Tokyo Drift.
Paul Walker alive or dead?
He was not in it.
Okay. Was The Rock in it?
I can't. Let me see. And Fast and Furious, I can't remember. But this one looks good. I will say about Fast and the Furious, it's amazing how much those movies have
changed.
I'm gonna make the pun. Fuck it. Drifted from their original concept. Like the first one is very much like a low grade 90s.
You guys have fun.
Kind of a gangster movie.
Zeke's out. You pissed him off too much.
Yeah,
He's done.
Fair.
I'm surprised you're even. I can't tell if this is a bit from you, Adam, that you're interested in seeing Fast and the Furious, because this is a movie.
No,
I'd
I
be
am.
like, Adam, this represents everything Adam probably does not want to see in a movie. Like whatever.
No.
Right.
I. You know what? I have seen. I'll say this every time people get surprised about like movies get a lot of leeway from me in terms of like I'll go to a theater to see a movie I know will be bad. And we've talked about this before, right? I saw Predators or whatever in the
in that
theater.
category.
I
Gotcha.
saw, yeah, and so like with Fast and the Furious, I think that I go to see it not because I'm a fan of the movies, but because I think that the people who make those movies have something that they want to do, and they do it really well. It's just not for me. They're very charming, and they're like kind of like, I don't know. There's something going on there. They're not bad at making movies, and I've seen a lot of like, you should not have made this. Who gave you money to do this? Movies, but I don't think Fast and Furious are those movies.
Every time I see those trailers, though, like you said, they drifted away. But like to think back to where the origin of that story, that franchise came from, and then it just became like, we gotta fucking save the world with cars.
Dude, there was a news bit I saw last week where the lead writer of the Fast and Furious said that space is not out of the question. So they might be going to
And
space.
for those movies, it wouldn't be. I'd believe it. Yep.
And so I don't know if that meant like they're going to go race in space or they're going to become like if they're going to join the Space Force.
I'm going to
or
say
what?
something that might be heretical. People might film nerds might get upset about this. I would say that as a franchise, Fast and the Furious and the James Bond movies are on a level with each other. I think that they are equally. I would take either one
agree to
equally
that.
seriously.
Yeah.
Because I think that they both have like a very wide range of tone. They're both all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
I don't think that the James Bond movies are actually all that well made. They're just classics because they've been around a long time.
Sure.
And I think that in 100 years we're gonna look back at both franchises and be like, yeah, all right. I think that's fairly like.
You got
I
Daniel
think that's
Craig
what's gonna
so
happen.
dreamy and muscly and sells it.
Daniel Craig is pretty good though. Casino Royale is like
But
a
so
really
was Sean
good
Connery back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's what I'm saying. That's
I think they might have made a misstep with Roger Moore, but other than that, they've all been pretty great.
Heresy.
Who was the Australian?
The Australian.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service. That
Pierce
was yeah,
Brosnan?
he was
Is that what
terrible.
you're talking about?
No,
He's not Australian.
what's George Lazenby?
Yeah.
Why?
I've never seen
Why?
those Bond movies.
Yeah. I saw
Anyways.
recently there was a screen test floating around for Sam Neill for James Bond. He did a screen test for some Bond movie.
Who is Sam Neill?
And it's very weird. Living Daylights. Yeah, he did a screen test for Living Daylights, and like it's very strange seeing like out of context. It's like watching the screen test for Star Wars, right? Seeing people that you that didn't make the cut and just being like, this would have been so weird. Like what a strange alternate reality that would have been. And
I love hearing who auditioned or who did a screen test for like whatever major iconic movie role. And you're just like, that would have been so different. Like completely different. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
guess there's
Isn't there a
reason
new
why-
Bond, or am I out of my mind?
They've
They've
been
been saying that forever.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Craig's always like, I'm still Bond.
yeah.
Daniel Craig is still James Bond, but his jersey, his 007 jersey, has been given to someone else in the movie. So he's still Bond, but I guess part of the movie is going to be like,
007.
this is your
coming out.
replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's not 007,
so-
right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the status of his current, like, in the canon, like, thing is.
Yeah.
All I know is that it's only a matter of time before Disney buys the James Bond franchise and he gets put into a Marvel movie or, like, Kingdom Hearts or whatever.
Oh, man.
I go see that movie. I go see that
Man.
Bond movie.
I'll
Like
probably check that out.
I stopped seeing Bond movies in the theaters, but I will watch them like at home, like when they come out for whatever streaming service. But that I might go to the theater for. I might go to
They
the
should
theater for
just
that.
they should just do a singular movie and get, I don't know, let's think of a who's the hottest, who's the guy that directed Roma, because I can't pronounce his name. Alfonso Cuarón.
Cuarón?
Yeah, Cuarón.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Get him to direct the movie and get all the lawyers at all the big IP studios to just be like, all right, man, look, you have free reign. Make whatever the fuck you want. I want to see what he make. I want to see what he does. I want to see
You
like
can use anything,
the fucking.
anything you want.
I want to see Iron Man talking to 007 with The Rock, who just plays The Rock. He doesn't play Hobbs. He's just The Rock. That's
Well, so this is.
I want to see all that
this
in
is
one
the-
movie.
This
It'd
is
be a
the
mess.
dark.
It'd be great.
This is the dark future of what it kind of looks like with Disney owning everything. So imagine a world where one company owns all the IP, and at the same rate as they accumulate this IP, artificial intelligence and its ability to create new art gets better and better and better until there is a point where we cannot distinguish a film script or a movie made by a robot versus one made by a person or people.
Sure.
And you get to a point where a streaming service isn't about individual shows. There's no such thing as a show anymore. You tune in and you're like, I would like to watch a movie that is 2 hours long, directed in the style of Alfonso Cuarón, that has Mickey Mouse, James Bond, and Jenna Jameson in it. Go. And the AI would just be like, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep. And it's like, here you go. Here's your movie. And you watch it and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that and a movie made by people. Just content. And then it'd figure out the things that you like to watch, and you would just turn on whatever your brain flicks is, and it'd be like, welcome back. We know what you want. We've already made it for you. Here it is. And you watch it, you're like, I didn't know I wanted this, but I do. And now I feel great. Yeah.
Good future. I can't wait.
Like the oh god, that reminds me of that the thing on Hitchhiker's Guide where you put your head in and it tells you, it's like, it knows exactly what you want. You bring your head out, it's like, oh, jelly donut. Oh yeah, I do want a jelly donut.
That's already happening, right? Like Amazon stocks their warehouse based on predictive AI. So it's not like we know that X amount of people will need to buy Y product because people have bought it already. They're like, we ship things to the warehouse predicting that X amount of people will need Y product, and they don't even know it yet. So when you go to order something, you're like, oh, wow, it'll only be like overnight or whatever. It's because Amazon knew that you were going to need it before you ordered it. And like, that's
thanks
so
to Alexa,
weird.
though. Because Alexa, it's that crazy thing where you talk about something and then 2 days later it shows up in an ad somewhere on a website. That shit's real, man.
Not even 2 days later. It's like an
That
hour
night.
or two nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like, so we talk about like, oh, we should get some more toilet paper. Toilet paper! Get toilet paper! Double fucking
how many of us
toilet paper stuffed with toilet paper.
Yeah.
How many of us got Wendy's ads after that one episode where during the pre-show we talked
I
about
went and got
for,
Wendy's.
like, 20
I
minutes?
skipped the ad and just went straight to fucking Wendy's. I mean, Jesus. Dan
Yeah,
was
you got
a salesman.
influenced.
He was an influencer, for sure.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yes, surreal.
Anyways, the future needs to happen already. Dan, are you ready? Thank you, Red. Yeah, thank you, Red Bull, for sponsoring the show. Let's just go there. Not thank you, Max.
Hey, it's out of focus. There you go. They don't pay us if it's not in focus.
It's true. You got to keep it in the camera for more than 5 seconds. Dan, are you ready for London? Or is London ready for you? Should I state it that way?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. I'm super nervous. Never been out of the country, so it'll be.
Let's compare anxiety and nervousness here. What aspect of it is creating let's just dive into it. There's no one watching this. There's no one here. It's just me and you, Dan. What aspect of it is nerve-wracking to you or anxiety-inducing?
I hate not knowing things. I hate not knowing what to do and how to do things. So when I go over there, I don't know how the tube works or how to get from A to B. What's the best way to travel? That kind of thing. What the proper etiquette? Do I tip? Do I not tip? Am I supposed to tip? How much? All these little not knowing little things like that bother me. I hate that.
They speak English though, so that's a saver.
Do they though?
That's a big plus.
Well,
Well,
have you tried talking to Strip Inner Sacriel? It's kind of hard sometimes.
That's another. Yeah, they speak English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I
invented the
agree with that.
language, but it's hard to understand them when they speak.
I used to be like that. I used to be a lot like that. And then you get
You gonna be like that? Really?
No.
Really?
No, I used to be very scared to go places and stuff like that.
Sure.
And
Oh, you're talking
on
about
one
that.
trip, I was nerve wracked, and it got to a point where it's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna ask everybody everything that I want to know. So I started pulling like strangers aside and be like, hey, excuse me, do we tip here in Berlin? Is that a thing? It's sort of, but not. Okay. Oh, it's case by case basis. Got it. Okay.
Thanks. You didn't solve
So-
anything. I appreciate it, though.
And then I asked the waiter, do you want a tip? And they're like, if you want to leave some money, I'll take it. I'm like, okay, good.
I'm pretty sure that's
all right, fine.
Yeah. I feel like if you ask any waiter if they want extra money, they're going to say, yeah, probably. Except for maybe in Japan somewhere. Japan would be like,
I was just
no.
gonna say not everywhere.
I do not want that money.
So the thing,
Do not put that
the
on
thing
the
about
table.
the thing about tipping in Japan is that it's the inverse of, in America, it's assumed that you're being underpaid because you can make up for it in tips. And so that puts the onus on the people who come in to pay you. But in Japan, tipping is like, I'm sorry, your boss obviously doesn't pay you enough.
Right.
I can tell because of your slovenly appearance. Here, have some money, you pitiable wretch. And they're like, keep your fucking money. Like, actually, we get paid. Okay, thanks.
Right.
Well, and also like when like just going to Tokyo for the very first time, there's not, they don't serve you a lot. It's like all self done. Like I go to the door, there's like a little vending machine by the door, and I put my money in. I pick what I want. I have 2 tickets. I put them down in front of me. The guy gives me my food, and that's our interaction. That's like it.
Right. Yeah, they
Like
cut
he
down on
picks
all
up the
that.
tickets and then brings back the food. 2 seconds.
That's what I
It's
love
great.
about it.
So wait,
It's
do
the
you,
best. That's what I love about it. You don't have to interact with people if you don't want to. They have places where you can go and just never speak to anyone. You just put your money in a machine and you put your little card thing in a slot, and then your food comes through a different slot, and it's great.
Well, and people like someone in the chat is like, yay, no human
Yeah,
interaction. Sure, if you're antisocial, but also, I didn't come there to talk to the fucking staff. I came there to talk to the dude or the person I came in with, or the people I came in with. Like, that's who I want to talk to. I don't want to talk to you, Mr. Waiter, bartender. I don't give a fuck about, pardon me, but you.
right.
I want to talk to this guy. So if you just go whoop, 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 that's perfect.
So where are you guys all from? How'd you get here?
No way!
How's the
No
first
way!
couple of bites tasting?
Yeah.
Everything
Shut
tasting
up!
good?
Fill my
what's
glass of
Twitch?
water without me asking.
What is Twitch? That looks so funky and weird. Oh, what do you guys do?
I like that, Max. The voice you're doing is person who works at a TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah. No, that's
clearly you have
that's
walked
the
into an
Applebee's,
Applebee's.
TGI Fridays. Yeah. That's who that is. The Chili's.
How y'all doing?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think?
It happens.
Why do you think that I have slippers that say Uber Eats on them? Because I order from them so often that they sent me a care package with fat guy clothes.
Isn't?
They're
Oh,
like,
okay. I
hey,
see what
Fatty,
you're saying.
here's some sandals. Oh, you want some sweatpants, Fatso? Here you go.
Yeah.
How about a nice velour running like tracksuit? We know you're never gonna run.
Again,
It's that-
Sandals
like a
seem
sweater.
counterintuitive, though, to be honest.
we're heading for that future, man. Pretty soon you don't even need to text Uber Eats. You'll just be like, I'm a little bit, and your phone will be like, ping, Zeke, your fat guy meal is on the way. And you'll be like,
Ooh, I love fat guys.
Yeah, they're good.
yeah.
They're so much better than Five Guys.
Yeah. So hopefully, Dan, that helps with your anxiety and nervousness going to London.
Yep.
It'll be fine.
Honestly, it's so much worse when you're in a country where like some of them speak English or they speak English, but they really don't like speaking English and are like upset about the fact that you don't speak their language because you're in their fucking country, which kind of makes sense. Like,
Sure.
but yeah, it'll be all right.
One of my favorite travel tips that I learned is everybody speaks cash. So if you have cash, you can get things you want. You can look at the number and go, I have that number in my hand.
Yeah,
Give
Dan,
me that thing.
Dan, you should have time now, but you can actually request like English currency from your bank, and they'll like actually ship it to your house before you leave if that's something you're interested in. Or you just go to the like currency conversion thing at the airport.
Yeah.
When you land.
Although most things you can buy there, you just use your card. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Might be just they'll even have a thing that says, "Would you like to pay in dollars or euros or whatever the fuck they pounds?" Right? Because
Pounds, yeah, pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once
easy.
once I go over there and do it, I'll get over all my nerves. But just like the not knowing initially is what makes me nervous.
Right.
For sure. Yeah. I get
Totally.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Speaking of London, Max, Zeke, are you guys going next week? I don't know who's going. Okay, you're going. Zeke, are you going to be there?
I am not.
Okay,
I'm not going to be able to go.
I hadn't asked
Oh, it's a
literally
bummer, Speedy
anyone,
Town.
so now I'm just trying to see who else is going to be there. So,
Yeah.
sounds
Yep,
good.
I procrastinated too long, and then Burning Man's coming up. So I'm going to make a trip out to England sometime in the future just to go and hang out with all my friends out there. But
Yeah.
not this time, unfortunately. Also, I mean, truth be told, fuck weddings. I fucking hate weddings.
Yeah, you're just not into them.
Yeah, they're just garbage. I hate them. I've hated every single one I've gone to, and I officiated one of them.
Nice, nice. So we'll see you at my wedding in the spring.
I'll be there at your dumb wedding.
My
Don't
gift,
you worry.
My
I'll have a
gift
dumb
to
present
people,
for you too.
Great, awesome.
Yeah, my gift to people that invite me to their wedding is I promise I won't say anything nihilistic about your wedding at your wedding. I won't be like,
No,
Well,
but
congratulations,
I feel like
morons.
that's on the
Enjoy
wedding.
your 50% chance of divorce. Hey, somebody get me a D100. Let's see if they're going to get a divorce. Just roll it. Try. You get 50-50 shot. Oh, look, dice say. Sorry.
I feel like that's on the wedding coordinators, though, to put you with other nihilists at the same table so that you can, like, all wear black together at the wedding and hang out.
It's a monochrome table.
Yeah.
If I show up at a wedding and someone puts me at a table in the back with a bunch of like Germans wearing black turtlenecks, I'm just gonna be so happy.
Yeah. What do you,
like,
we're gonna
Horst,
hire some
Life
Germans
is meaningless.
to sit at a table with you
Please.
at our wedding.
So how do you
Please.
guys know
Oh my
them? We worked together once.
We are also from Texas. Can you not tell?
Oh yes, the days at MLG.
Yes.
Yeah,
A
I
good
am
time.
JP's cousin Gunter. I am from Houston.
That'll be true.
I can just see like Adam in the
happen.
back, like after like every line in the wedding, he's having to hold back, like, and now they're going to say their vows.
Yeah. It's a wedding heckler.
No, but it'll be
Well.
coordinated so that him and the
Vows my
Germans,
ass.
and the Germans can all just make the same like groans and moans. During
I'm so
the ceremony.
excited.
That'll be great.
This is gonna be great.
Yeah, we've thought of everything.
I'll be the Adam Wrangler at your wedding, JP.
The Adam Wrangler. What is Adam? Doesn't need to
Yeah.
be wrangled though. He just needs to be
I
like
mean wrangling.
put hand over mouth every once in a while. He just starts
That's wrangling.
Listen,
Is
once
that
I sit
wrangling? I guess
down,
that's wrangling.
just
Yeah. Well,
once I sit down, just inscribe a circle of salt around my table, and I won't be able to move. It'll be fine.
that's probably true. That's probably the best practice, without a doubt. Without a doubt. All right. Well, that's our 30-minute pre-show time. So I assume everyone else is good. Is everyone? Let me ask you this: is anyone doing bad? No, we're all doing pretty good.
I'm
doing.
I'm doing fair to Midland, I guess.
Okay. Hey, that's where I was born, Midland, Texas. Anyways,
Fair to Midland, Texas.
Midland,
Thanks,
Texas.
I don't care.
Too.
good. I'm glad everyone's doing well. Let's watch that recap, and then we'll start playing the D&Ds.
Hey, JP, did you know one of my toes?
Nope.
Little
Can't
action
talk to you.
expresses a concern. He's going to need a fix, and he's going to need it soon if the party wants him to do his job. The plan is to delve into the strange overgrown tunnel, use it to escape opportunity, and make their way to Bugfucker's ranch, where he'll provide them with what they need to make their way to the vein. Brave of them to rely on such an unstable weirdo. After a brief and awkward interlude between Maharib, Amira, and Broken Promises, the group heads down into the darkness. Almost immediately, Ramus detects a familiar sound from his past, wind chimes from a childhood vacation. Turns out to be an illusion generated by the Voidlings, a sort of cosmological antibody attempting to repair the rupture in the Opportunity Vein and contain the juice energy corrupting the city. Of course, a fight breaks out. During the battle, a second Voidling arrives and the party is nearly killed more than once. Little action, sadly, dies. As the battle seems to be coming to a close, a Voidborn emerges into the light. He's wounded and in terrible pain. A rupture in his chest, drawing forth matter and light into what seems like a portal to the void itself. A poor soul broken by the catastrophe the vein is undergoing. Ramus's unconscious body and Broken Promises are drawn into darkness. Broken Promises, using her magical cloak, enacts a brilliant plan and escapes. Ramus is not so lucky, and Maharib goes in after him. The scene is a familiar one, the great void below all existence into which sorrow, hate, and happiness all are poured by the hollow spirits of the denizens of the Court of the Void. Here we find Ramus and a terrible, magnificent king. Bravely, Maharib confronts the Void King and proves his mettle. The king makes an offer. Maharib takes the cursed weapon given to him and swears his destiny to serve Ramus, a knight for a future king. Maharib agrees, and the two are pulled free from the void as a terrible green worm writhes in the distance. Maharib clutches an axe of black steel, the edge of the void.
Don't start the intro. Jesus Christ.
So this is the show now. We do the intro, then we do 20 minutes of chatter, then we do the recap, then we do the intro again, the recap one more time, back to another 20 minutes of horse shit.
Yep.
Recap, intro again. It's a whole thing.
4
Then we
hours.
never actually have to
of
do a
it.
show.
4 hours. It's gonna be great.
Yep.
Is that
So
the
we
name of the
didn't
weapon,
do,
by the way? Edge of the Void. That's the, first
The
time I've heard it.
the full name
Should we
of the
wait?
axe, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when you
Okay.
get a chance to look at it. But the full name of the axe is the Wicked Edge of the Void, and we'll talk about what it does and all of its business.
Okay.
Once we
I will
get a chance.
wait to
So
add it
yeah,
to
we didn't
character
do.
sheet then.
didn't do the goals last time. I think we were also overwhelmed by void darkness. So
I think most of them
let's
stayed
do
the
that
same.
now.
So
I don't
was also
think
part
I
of
don't
it.
think much is gonna change. So Ramus right
Yeah.
now, find the aorta claim, escape the necropolis, and reach Bugfucker's farm, but not in that order.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. It makes me like personally deeply happy every time we run the recap and there's someone in chat who has never watched the show before or hasn't watched in a while and who's like, wait a second, what's the name of that character and whose farm are they going to?
Right. Yeah. That's good.
So, Broken Promises, I have your goals as lead us safely out of the city, traverse the vein, and then also reach Bugfucker's ranch.
Yep.
Keep those, okay? All right, Berg, leave the city, traverse the vein, escape the void.
Yep.
Okay, and Maharib, escape the void, honor the oath between Amira and Broken Promises, and convince Bugfucker to let us stay with him.
Yep. Works for me.
Okay, perfect. All right. So when we return to the site of our players, we find that Ramus and Little Action are both in not great shape. Ramus still alive, but stable, not dead. Little Action, however, very dead. And every time that we lose Little Action, there's a chance something important is going to get forgotten. So we'll see how he comes back this time. But for right now, he is a corpse and will be for several hours until the sun makes its way around again. Ramus, I have figured out, like I rolled the D4 to figure out how long you're going to be out, but no one knows unless there's some hit points that get transferred to you. So you're in this cave, this set of tunnels underground that has at least 2 voidlings floating around in it, but they are dead now. There may be more. And then there was this person that imploded. And you've just saved Ramus, Maharib, by making a pact with some dark entity.
Yeah.
What is everybody gonna do? You're all pretty badly beat up.
What was the, like, did I erupt out of this like void ball thing, or did I just appear? Like, what was it? How dramatic was it? Because that's right where we ended the episode, was basically me like coming out of that.
Pretty dramatic. Yeah, you would have been like pulled from it, like stretched out of it, and returned to like along the rope, right? So they dragged you out, and then you snap back to your own normal form.
Okay. All right. Then I think that's probably where we start off, is I'm like standing there with Ramus thrown over my shoulder, and then in my other hand is the axe kind of at my side. What do I see you guys doing? Because I'm just, I'm probably still in a little bit of shock that all that just occurred, so I'm just kind of silent when I first come out of the orb, the void, and I see Broken Promises and Berg there.
Actually, I'm around the corner with.
Oh, so it'd be Amira? Okay, it's Amira.
That's Amira, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just still need a stained glass thingy.
Okay,
I don't blame anyone for doing that, because my characters might not stick around very long.
No one wants to invest.
Like, I put a lot of hours in it. You're just gonna throw it away. Don't do that, okay?
Well, then maybe that's the first thing is I like come out. I take a second. If Berg doesn't say anything, that it's me kind of looking around, trying to see if everyone's there. And if I don't see Broken Promises, I will just ask. I'll say like in common, because Berg, you don't speak Infernal, right? We've gone through this.
I don't think that I do. I'm going to check my sheet, but I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just say in common, or I'll just say in common. Where's Broken Promises? And the other one, the Little Action.
I'm over here.
Are you well? What
I'm
about
fine.
the other one?
Not fine.
Well, he'll come back.
He'll come back, but we're going to have to carry him. He's dead. How's Ramus? I walk back over.
Yeah, I'm like probably putting Ramus.
Do you walk
on
back
the
over
ground.
carrying Broken Promises, or do you just leave him lying on the ground?
Well, I just leave him on the ground because I can't carry him.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. You're weak. He's very light, but you're also super wimpy, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm laying Ramus down on the ground when you come around the corner, and ask how
Is he
he
dead?
is. I don't believe so. Some things happened while we were in there, but he seems or will be stable.
I can't believe that worked. I was in there, and there was nothing in there. I saw nothing. I think I could make out my own hands. I could make out my own body, but everything else was just blackness and darkness. The only way I managed to get out was my cloak. My cape, I should say. The rope worked.
To say what happened in there is,
Don't worry. I have much more experience with what the void does to you. Not only personally, but just from being from here. I understand if you have trouble piecing it together.
there was someone else in there when I found Ramus.
Someone besides Ramus.
Yes, he called himself the king.
The king.
Yes,
When he said that, and this would be the time where it was a TV show, we'd flash back to like the big dude. He was actually gesturing at Ramus when he said, "A king needs a knight."
or maybe Ramus was the king. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Who are you talking to?
He lives because I made a deal. I kind of put the axe out and gestured.
You made a deal in the void?
Berg's like fixed on the axe, by the way, too. He's like, what the fuck? You got a cool weapon now, too?
Berg, can you make an insight check?
Yeah. I would also imagine, too, if this is some sort of like opposite of Berg's weapon, you might be able to pick up on that kind of energy. So,
Yeah.
Insight, you said yes?
Yes, please.
Not very good at these.
A 10.
Not bad.
That's not bad for you. Because you rolled a 12, so it's like it's an average roll. I think looking upon the axe, so this axe is etched with strange markings that seem to be some kind of segmented worm, like wrapped around the haft of it. The blade is dark and seems to absorb light. And something about it just makes your skin crawl. Looking at it makes you feel uneasy. Like it's an unholy weapon, and it makes you maybe feel like if it's connected to some kind of deal Maharib made, maybe it's bad, I guess is the thing. Like there's something about it that puts you off.
Yeah. Maybe you see like Berg's like this kind of like go or like his hand like go to his instinctually like to his hammer, just for a second. And then he realizes like, oh, what's going on? And he looks at it again quizzically.
I'm going to walk over to Maharib, and if he lets me, and you're what, 8 feet tall? Is that right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay.
8 even.
17
So-
feet tall. We're in there.
I walk up to you because I'm only 5 feet. So I'll walk over to you, and I'll look up at you and like beckon you down. Like, I want to look in your eyes.
Okay. I like lean over.
And I put my hands on your cheeks, and I look in your eyes to see like if I feel like you're the same person that went in that came out, because you're of different stuff than we are, and I know what it looks like when someone dies and comes back, has touched the void and returned.
Right.
I want to see if there's any familiarity there.
Okay. I mean, maybe that's on
There's-
Adam to, like, do I look the same?
Yeah, you can make an insight check aimed at Maharib particularly.
Okay. 9. God damn it, man.
No, yeah, right? It's that thing.
Yeah.
It's the chaos plateau, man. Having all the skills you need and just being unable to use them.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, you can't get a read on Maharib.
Okay. And I just got your face. And I let you go. I just I look at your face and then I look at the weapon.
Yeah.
Was that part of the bargain? I'm guessing.
Yes, when I agreed to the deal, it appeared. I'm supposed to protect Ramus. Something like that.
Really? Supposed to protect the king. King of what, I wonder? They tell you what he was to be king of?
I don't recall. It's still hazy. I'm not even sure if all that was real.
Yeah, right. If it weren't for the axe, it'd be easy to pass this off as a weird illusion.
But he's back. He's alive. That's all that matters to me.
I've never served a king. I've had leaders and rulers and that kind of thing, but a king would be new to me. I wonder what they have in store for him. Do you think you were talking to one of the Mara?
If I were, I don't. Perhaps. What does Amara look like? How do you tell? I don't know. I'm not even sure where I was. But Ramus was there. He was looking into a pit. Creature was standing next to him. It wasn't until I reached out that the creature noticed me. It was as if I didn't exist until I imposed my will on it.
With all this information,
Yeah.
and me being from the void and that kind of stuff, is there anything familiar about what he's saying? Like folklore, tales?
You can make a history check. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
14.
Okay. The symbols on the axe bring to mind the iconography. I don't think you've ever really interacted with this Mara's servants directly. And I think that this Mara in particular is not, he's set apart from the others. He's almost like a Mara boogeyman or like a Mara, like he's outside of the order of things. He doesn't have like a church or a carnival that serves him or warriors that march in his name, but somehow he is first among equals, right? This one, he's known as the King in Darkness, the Great Green Worm, first among those who dwell in shadow. He's supposed to be the Mara that is closest to the void itself, not a servant of the void, but like born of it, right? And he's a mystery and he's incredibly powerful. So the images in the axe and the like presence in the darkness equates with what you thought of. So that's the first thing that comes to mind, I think, with a 14.
Okay.
There's something familiar about the weapon too, but you can't quite place it. Like there's still, you can feel it. You're like, there's more here, but you can't recall it yourself.
It reminds me of a story, or I don't know, passed around from person to person about it was called the Great Green Worm. The Mara that lived in the void, in the actual void. Doesn't accrue armies, doesn't have worshippers. This Mara lives on the outside of all the other ones. He seems like he is more powerful, more respected, more revered, but his intentions are unknown. His motivations are his own. If you ask anyone in the Basilica or the Comedy or the Dragon Knights, they could tell you at least what their Mara seems like they want. This one is total mystery. I don't know what you've agreed to, but I hope it works out for you and Ramus. Did Ramus agree to this? Do we know?
He was there, but not there. He did not
So
speak.
you agreed to be his protector, but he has not agreed to be king yet.
So while
Well, that we
like,
know
while
of.
you're in the middle
Maybe
of this
he's always-
conversation,
Yeah.
Amira just like angrily pushes past you, like just like shoves you out of the way, Maharib, not with her hands or her shoulder, like just shoulders you out of the way,
Yeah.
and just like walks off in this direction, like just walks away from you.
She gets like 10 feet away. I just say, we should move. She's right.
Berg, can you help me with a little action, please?
I suppose, yes.
I'll pick up Ramus too, and then
Okay.
I think that's what the hesitance was from Berg too, because Berg was like,
Oh yeah.
I should be picking up Ramus, and asked me to pick up Little Action, who I don't give a shit about and we need, but I guess I will pick him up.
Oh, I was going to
so
give
there's
Maharib and Amira
So-
a minute alone.
Well, so yeah, like so there's a moment, Berg, where you like look down at Ramus like, but he's mine. Like I have to take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that clear to everyone around you? That like
Probably,
that look?
yeah. No,
Okay.
he would like step and then like look at Ramus and look at the rest of them and like maybe that's what happens instead of just complying. He just waits and lets that sit well.
I don't hesitate. I scoop Ramus up.
As we're walking back to pick up Little Action, if I I just say lightly to Berg, "Don't worry, Berg." Sorry, don't worry, Berg. You can always protect me. I mean, look at me. I'm going to need a lot of protecting.
I protect those
And I-
who need it and see in some level of good. But Ramus, I am not worried about not protecting him. I'm worried for him.
Not easy being friends, is it?
No, it is not always.
And I, put my hand on his big, muscly arm and just stroke it a little bit, and then wait for him to pick it up. Just friendly, not flirting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Go get
It's a shame
Little
you're
Action.
unconscious, Ramus. Everybody's like fussing over you so much.
Damn.
His ethereal self is going, yes, fight over me.
Yes, good.
It's like a Force Ghost Ramus there just hanging out that we can't see.
Yeah, Ramus has become more powerful than we could possibly imagine.
Yeah. As they go around the corner and I like pick Ramus up, throw him over my shoulder. If Amira's still in earshot, I'll just say in giant, "What are you angry about? Just let's get it out."
She scowls at you and she looks at the axe and she says in giant, "Nothing. I just want to leave."
Yes. Well, I turn and just like wait for them to come around the corner.
Yeah, when you turn, she's like, "Fuck you, I'm out." And she just goes around the corner and leaves. Like goes out of sight.
Okay. Yeah, the second I like see her go out of sight, he said we're moving. Amira seems to know the way. Suppose we'll follow. So I start following.
Okay. All right.
Ramus
So
and
who has you have Ramus with you?
Yeah. Now
And
keep
Berg,
in
you're
mind I
carrying
don't
a little
have the
action?
light spell because Ramus is unconscious. So
Yeah. What's the light situation?
who can everyone see?
It lasts an hour even if I'm out.
Oh,
Right,
even
'cause you don't
past
have to concentrate
concentration?
on it. So it
Yeah.
will yeah,
Okay.
it'll last you until you find the exit, which is just right around the corner.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah.
So yeah, when you get out here, Amira's like pulling these ferns aside
Jesus Christ.
to illustrate. Like she's like
Whole
pulling aside,
time we
she's
could have
like,
just given the slip, fucking got out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's what I was doing.
And so you, so you reach this tunnel that winds upwards, and we sort of crossfade as you head into the tunnel back to up above. And so you are, in fact, we get a shot of the outside of the city, and we can see the kind of low animal defense perimeter around it. Most of this area is just wasteland, sort of scrub plants and rocky terrain. There's maybe some hills in the distance. There's a swamp downhill from where you are. And we see an area of the sort of rocky terrain with some of this brush shake a little bit, and then you emerge as a group from here out into the open. The green sun is hanging overhead. It looks to be several hours before the cycle will renew again. And from here, I think Maharib, you can
Yeah, like
you
how
can
far are we from
smell
the farm?
you can smell the swamp at a distance, but it'll probably take you. I mean, carrying these two, it'll take several hours to get out there.
But it's probably like it makes more sense to do that rather than just camp, right?
Yeah, probably, because you're still pretty close to the city, and you can see if you turn and look over your shoulder, you can see opportunity, and you can see that there's smoke rising from these plumes of whatever the hell's going on, this weird vein energy in there. There's signs of battle,
Right.
Is there like what time of day I say, but like you can see stuff like obviously like you're saying. I'm
it's always
interested to hear
kind
if
of
there's
light
like
out,
chaos going on in the city still. Like, do you hear like craziness
yeah.
and
When
stuff?
you pause, like put your hand here, yeah. Make a perception check.
Okay.
16. Okay. Yes, yeah, you can definitely hear the sounds of battle from the city, the clashing of weapons and shouting. I mean, you're just right outside the barricade, so you're not that far.
This is good. We've done our work again.
I mean, you didn't really. It's there's a power shift, not a cataclysm.
Yeah.
Right? The city itself is
Right.
undergoing a dramatic change, but it's not being like sunk into a terrible pit.
I said
But
they
yes.
were beaten by the best, Adam.
Yeah.
Do you know the direction, Maharib, that we need to go?
Can you not smell it?
Can I smell? Is it close enough to smell the bugfuckers? place?
Yeah, the breeze is carrying a foul stench from the swamp up to you.
Oh, okay.
And maybe you didn't notice what it was before. Maybe you're like, I don't know, something smells bad, and then you realize like, oh, I see what.
I didn't know that was Bugfucker's place though. Like that's where we were going. Like,
Have you haven't visited the ranch since he was exiled or became an exile? Have you?
No. No.
Okay, yeah, you don't know he lives in like a shitty swamp then. So, yeah, you just know he lives outside the city.
Okay. Oh, so we're going towards the smell then.
Yes.
How long a journey?
Couple hours, depends. He grows things on this farm. They are not the friendliest creatures, so keep your eyes out.
When he says keep your eyes out, I want to know first before I do what I'm thinking about doing, is there are flying beasts in this void, right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of
Okay.
weird animals and monsters and shit out here.
Okay. Then when he says keep an eye out, you see her like start walking like away from the group and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I intend to." And you see her like cloak become like wings and just Like if that's cool, like polymorph would do that, right? It's just a beast.
Yeah, well, polymorph turns you into you can turn into like a giant bat or something, or like whatever of the CR. So yeah, polymorph you can be any kind of I think beast up to CR 12.
Okay.
I'm gonna link you.
Yeah, I don't want to be a formidable creature. I just want to be something.
I'm gonna link
innocuous
you. I'm gonna
and
link you
scoutable.
my favorite thing of all time, Kobold Fight Club. I'll put it in the Corsair's thing. I'll put it in chat so you can take a look. Chat. So Kobold Fight Club is like a monster compendium basically where you can sort by type and by CR. So if you want to find out what kind of beast you can become, you can just set the type to beast and then minimum and maximum CR.
I think
So
pterodactyls are pretty common in this world, probably.
Let's see. If you have void pterodactyls, yeah. Let's see here. What's a cool? You could become a Tyrannosaurus Rex. You could become a
flying
sand
snake
spider, a giant ape. Yeah. You could become pretty much any kind of animal because like the animals cap out. It looks like at like 12. There's no beast with a higher CR than that. So
right.
Okay.
Just don't be.
So
an
yeah,
owl.
if you want to turn into some kind of flying thing, you can. Don't be an owl. Yeah, you die instantly.
Yeah,
Someone
we've had
hurls a
some-
spear at you from off screen, and you just die.
We've had some bad times
Okay.
with the owls.
Then I'll just be like, just to keep with the theme of like the inky stuff. I'll just turn into like a crow, a larger than normal crow, but a crow. So
A giant crow. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So you see her walk away from you, look over her shoulder and say, "Oh, I intend to," and she jumps into the air, and all of her clothes form into make this bird shape that just flies away.
Cool.
And I call out just caw, caw.
Can you communicate
Promises turns
besides
into a
calling
bird.
at all?
No,
Message.
not as a bird. You can't.
Okay.
Because polymorph. If you want to link it in the chat so everybody can take a look at
I'd
it.
love to.
Polymorph transforms you into a creature. You basically become that thing. Your stats are replaced, including your mental ability scores, are replaced by the stats of the chosen beast. So you become a bird in mind and in body. But you are still able to like remember that you were yourself, and in an hour you'll turn back no matter what. So as you take on your bird form, your mind does shift, and you become a thing of instinct more than of thought. But yeah, there's no way to communicate from up there. Crows, like you can mimic speech, but it's not the same.
Right.
You can't think in words. You don't speak that. Like,
Okay. Yeah, I just see broken promises.
but you can take a look around.
Go into flight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Berg, can you turn into a creature that I don't know about?
No.
Good. We'll press on.
That would be cool, though.
Well,
So Maharib, you continue on, and yeah, Amira just kind of like sulks and like looks at the two. You fucking weird people. She's obviously got a bug up her butt about something. So Broken Promises, you take to the wing and you begin to flutter. What is your plan? Do you want to do a circle and like get a look around?
Yeah. I just
Okay.
want to, just make sure there's no one like they're not walking into like something stupid like a fucking huge battle or like a beast or like whatever. I know they can handle themselves, so I'm just looking for anything like dangerously obvious or obviously dangerous. I meant sorry.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm just looking for. Here we go. We'll use the stats for a raven. So you're gonna make a perception check, and you have. I'm gonna give you advantage because you have height, right? So basically, just roll a d20 plus 3 twice, and keep the best one.
That's plus
14
3 anyway.
or. Okay. Oh yeah, it's the same stat. Okay. Yeah. So roll again. Oh no, right, because you have advantage anyway. Okay, so 14. Yeah, so you get a good look around. 14's not bad. So you take a look down. Are you looking for anything in particular? Like you can ask me some questions. I'll give you a general kind of like gist of the situation. But
I'm looking for anything humanoid or larger, that could present a problem. And by humanoid or larger, I also mean like beasts that are that big as well.
Yep. Sure. Yeah. Any kind of like big things moving around or whatever. Yep.
Yep. Anything with like any humanoids, carts, caravans, whatever, soldiers, blah blah blah. But also looking for any sort of signs of ambush, traps, that kind of stuff. Like a fallen log in the road could be just a fallen log, but it also could be like people waiting, blah blah blah. So if I see something like that, I'll swoop down, land on a branch.
Well, so three things of note from up here. So one, the city doesn't look as bad from the air as it did from the ground. There are definitely spots where there's massive damage. It looks like the city looks like a city that has just like been hit by a pretty bad earthquake. There are buildings that are knocked over. There is this sort of greenish gray smoke rising from some places. But it's not like there's just like blood flooding the streets. There are fights going on, but it seems like it's being cleaned up. You're looking at the end of a battle, the end of a claiming of the city.
Okay.
You can see on the road leading up that there are crews of people setting up what look like posts, like wooden or whatever posts along either side of the road leading up to Opportunity. So you can see that in the distance, and there's people like lifting them up. Somebody's got there's a wagon, and it's like work teams like raising these posts that lead along the road. One every 100 feet or so along the road. And then they've got this big covered. They've got a wagon with like a big tarp or something over top of it. There's a pile of something inside. So there's that. And then also you see off in the distance, the way you are heading, the way your friends are going, you can see a swamp. It's a miserable swamp. And then there are these kind of dilapidated looking tents in the swamp. We've seen them before, right? It's Bugfucker's Ranch. But you also notice that someone has set up over the course of, I don't know, some amount of time. It looks like a pretty big work project. Someone has set up a dam or a series of dams. There is a section in the middle of the swamp, about, I'd guess, like 300 feet across, a vaguely circular section of the swamp that has been dammed off so that it is dry. It's pushed the water it's been like pumped out or something, so it's dry. And in there, you see that there is a plow just sitting like in the muck. There's a plow, and it looks like somebody has been pulling this plow in a slow spiral around the outside, slowly winding towards the inside of this like dry area in the swamp. It looks like that job has been set aside for now. The plow is just lying there, rusty in the muck.
So a spiral shape made by a plow that has been abandoned for now.
Just like set aside, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
In the middle of the swamp, and they've dammed it off to like make a dry area they could dig this spiral in, and that's what you
Does
said.
that look familiar to me?
Above.
Or I guess I'm a bird now, so I'll have to roll intelligence stuff when I'm no longer a bird.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Now I've probably morphed into stuff before. Do I retain the memories that I accrue as a bird, right? Good.
Sure, yeah, of course. Yep.
Okay, just making sure. Okay. So I take a gander at that. Are they now the posts that they're setting up? Are they on the road that we are traveling on, or are we like?
No.
Okay.
No, you're not traveling on a road at all. There's only one road, and it leads to Opportunity and then stops.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. So I see the post being made on either side of the road. I see Bugfucker's Ranch. Now, how far away is that spiral thing? Is it a part of his ranch? Does it look like?
It's in the middle of the swamp.
It's away from his place. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I scout out that shit, and I'll fly on back down.
Okay.
I don't know how much time has passed or whatever. If you guys want to do some chatting or whatever.
Mahrib's probably pretty shocked and quiet. I don't know if Berg or Amira would talk.
Yeah, Mahrib's experienced some shit, and Amira's not saying anything. And Berg, I assume if no one is talking to you, you're not just like trying to make conversation.
No, maybe eyeing his new weapon now and then, just examining him and Ramus and all You just unsettled. Know something happened
Yeah,
there.
right. Everybody kind of
And-
is. Yeah.
Yeah. And not to mention just exhausted, so probably not in the talking mood.
Sure.
Okay.
Broken Promises returns from her skytime reconnaissance.
How long did that take? 30 minutes, hour? What are we talking?
I don't know. How long would you have taken Broken Promises? I mean, once you get up there, it's just like spin around, have a look, and come back down. It could be short.
Yeah. I mean, like maybe like 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to do a thorough search.
Yeah.
Yep. I come back down, and you see, like, I come back down in front of you, and the bird, like, it swoops in, lands, and just with like just a steady motion, just comes up and starts walking like it's just very fluid, and feathers are just falling off. Just
Yeah. Turning to dust behind you and remerging with your cloak. Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, while I was up there, and I explained that I saw there were 2 posts, guards setting up on either side of the main road. I saw the ranch we're going to. And I also saw something, and this is where I'm going to try and like figure out like the spiral shape in the middle of the thing. Like, have I heard anybody talking about like, or do I know if this is a ritual or
Make a
something like
religion
that?
check.
Or okay, religion check. 15.
The spiral is at least among the cultures you have been a part of, not attached to any one particular practice or doctrine, but represents inevitability. It represents entropy, and it represents the like inevitable degradation of everything. Right? It's the spiral down into nothingness.
Okay, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
So when someone uses like when a spiral is used, it's like when it's drawn on something or whatever. Usually it symbolizes inevitability. It symbolizes entropy. It's not an inevitability in a good way. It's like everything eventually is reclaimed by the void.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
this, like an unstoppable force, in the sense that even if you do nothing, eventually everything is drawn down.
So I would just view it as a symbol and not part of a ritual or a portal or
It's not
doorway
like
or
a
anything
it's
that,
not like
or-
a cruciform or something, right? It's not like, hey, that's a Jesus thing. It's just a geometric like sigil.
Okay. Okay. And then I saw a spiral being plowed into the earth where the swamp had been dammed off. They had taken all of the water and the moisture and blocked it off in this square where someone had plowed a spiraling shape. That's, as far as I know, it symbolizes the void itself. Everything ends up in the void eventually. And it's not any ritual that I know. It's just I'm guessing this bugfucker fellow is unhappy with the world.
He seems to know things that most don't. So if it's there for a reason. We can inquire
When I
about it
was-
we speak to him.
When I was scouting, do we have to go across the road to get to his place or not?
No, you're going in the opposite direction.
Okay, cool.
Or if not directly opposite, then like at a right angle.
Well, the only other thing that I noticed while I was up there is that it seems like the fighting has abated for a moment within Opportunity itself. There was no flashing of swords or din of combat or anything like that. It seems like there's either a lull or someone has become victorious. I'm not sure, but still, I'm glad to be out of there. And I thank you all for your help. Shouldn't be too much longer now.
Let's press on.
Is Ramus doing all right still? I know I haven't been long, but I worry about someone from your side.
He'll be fine. This has happened before.
All right.
He just needs to rest. that's ahead of us.
So you see up ahead of you as you kind of crest a slight ridge. Someone has hammered a post into the ground about waist high. I mean, you all are waist high on a normal person.
Right.
So there's a
Knee-high.
post, and then hammered to that post there is a board, and the board has some of infernal or abyssal. I keep getting the two conflated. The one that you can speak.
Infernal, yeah.
Some sigils inscribed upon it.
Yeah, I mean, I get closer, walk next to it just to read it.
Okay. So the sigils are the ideogram for a head, the ideogram for worm, and the ideogram for place of worship.
Okay.
They are written in black paint on the thing, and they are kind of crude. Like it looks like they were drawn by a simpleton or a child.
Okay.
They're definitely not like beautiful calligraphy or anything.
Sure. When I see him, I just remark, seems he's starting a worship. Perhaps this is the worm you mentioned that I apparently had an encounter with.
But he is not worshipped.
Again,
He just is. I don't know. It'd be like worshiping a stream or a tree, something like that. It just is what it is and does what it does. It serves a purpose, but it has no motivation really. We can tell. So if someone is starting to worship him,
perhaps
we have a new religion on our hands.
Perhaps that's exactly why I encountered him. He has purpose now. Worshippers. As I said before, this man knows things that most don't, so it's there for a reason. I will say, be careful what you say around him. He is an interesting person and very easily upset.
Sounds it.
He will not be excited to see me. He will not be
Why?
excited
What
to
did you-
see us at all as well. And
Because of, and I say this because Amira can speak Infernal, right?
yep.
Yeah. I say this in Infernal so Amira could speak it. Because of Amira and you, what you did there.
We have some history. She has some history. It's yes.
What do you?
Are you speaking in a language she can understand?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm speaking in Infernal so that she can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she
I look at her
she
like
just-
to invite her into the conversation.
she scowls and she says, "I don't remember any of that, so it doesn't count."
Okay. Very well.
Well, we'll deal with it when we get there. It will be an ordeal, that's for certain, but we need to get there. I'd maybe like pick up the pace a little bit. Start walking
Okay.
towards the
All right.
ranch.
So another 100 feet or so, and there's another sign. Again, crudely painted, in abyssal or infernal or whatever. And this one has the sign for welcome and the sign for religiously motivated traveler. It probably translates best to pilgrim. Yeah.
I was honestly
What?
thought you were
Sorry.
gonna say like, what's the opposite of what it would be like? The beginning is nigh.
Yeah, right. No, so that's
end,
yeah. The sign for welcoming, the sigil for welcoming, and the sigil for like religious travelers.
Okay. And is this a common symbol outside of like places like the
they're
Basilica or stuff like that?
They're ideograms, so it's just like it's a word. It's like a kanji, right?
Gotcha. Okay. And this is Infernal, yeah.
They're written in infernal, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone can read them except for Berg.
Yeah.
And we all just laugh at Berg. The end. That's the end. We're done.
No.
It turns out illiteracy.
We're all looking at this, and I realize Berg can't read it.
Right.
And I just kind of I lean over to him. It says, "Welcome, pilgrims." Religious pilgrims, like a journey. You know, are you familiar with what some religions make you travel to different places? That's what this is saying. It's giving a welcome to anyone who's like that.
Ah. Okay.
I wonder what they're doing here. You think Bugfucker considers himself some sort of religious leader now? Doesn't sound like one. It'd be difficult to follow someone with that name. Hail Bugfucker, Bishop of the Void.
Perhaps he's adopted a new name. I don't know.
Well,
You can see standing here. You can see ahead of you like another sign. Not that far away.
Okay. Yeah. It seems there's another sign ahead. Let's see what it says. I'm like getting probably pretty delirious and exhausted now, so I'm starting to maybe lose interest in this. But yeah, I press on. I'm carrying however heavy Ramus is for a couple hours now.
So Dan, I sent you a message on Roll20. I just want to make sure. Did you get it? Did you see it?
Oh,
Just double check that. Yeah. So okay. So you're carrying Ramus and you continue on towards the next sign. Like I said, another 100 feet or so, and you reach the next sign. This sign has the character for. This is a little bit more complicated to translate. It has the character for enemies or like unwell wishers, right? People who wish harm. And then the sign for fornicating, and then the sign for the self.
Fornicating and then bugs.
So that's that's what you see.
I'm not even going to begin to. Your thoughts, broken promises?
I can't decide whether it's if whoever's writing these are angry with people who pleasure themselves, or welcoming, or he intends to do harm to people who are against it. Or no. It's a confusing set of words. It might be that he is angry with those people who would deny self-pleasure, or he himself wishes harm upon self-pleasurers.
He's complicated. Just please don't laugh at him. It will only make things harder. And
I can mind my tongue. I'm well versed with all sorts of different. Well, I think I used to be, at least.
You press on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, the signs like stop for a little while they stop once you actually reach the swamp. There is a bit of a trail, and then you get to the edge of the swamp, and you can see in the distance, you can see the buildings, the tents, the stretched like insect skin, the like chitin tents that we saw that Maharib stayed in before, where obstinate Buckfucker lives. So you see those, but you notice Maharib, one of them's got a big tear in the side of it. This is open and like flapping in the breeze. And the place is like overgrown and looks run down. Bugfucker had a bunch of like garbage inside, but it was piled up specifically, right? He had a way of things, but out here now it looks like the place has been like abandoned, or at the very least ignored. And I think that as you get closer, you hear a voice from nearby. Someone comes out from behind a copse of trees, and you hear them because they announce themselves. They don't want to startle anybody. You hear somebody say, "Hey, who's there?" and you see a form, you see a person step out from behind these trees. They are wearing filthy gray robes, just like gross dishwater gray robes. The bottom is all torn and muddy. They have sandals on, but one of the sandals, the strap is like missing. So every time they take a step, there's this like flapping noise as it flaps against the bottom of his foot. He has a shaved head, but doesn't really keep it up. So he's got kind of like patchy like growth of hair, and he's got his hands are all covered in mud, and he has this big rifle in his hand. He's holding this big ass rifle, and it's got a bore of it's like an elephant gun basically. And he's got it, and you can see attached to the base near the trigger guard, there's a glass bulb, and in it you can see like the rot grubs like wriggling around in it, the ammunition in this like wet bulb.
Yeah.
And he steps out, he's holding his rifle, and he's like, "Who's there?"
I put my hand up to like make sure that Berg and Broken Promises don't speak. And what would Maharib say?
Be careful about what you say.
You
What?
look
Berg?
down.
Ah,
Yeah. And Ramus, so you're just like looking up, and I'm like,
you're awake at this point.
You just let him carry him the whole
kidding.
fucking way.
I was getting the nap in.
yeah, I mean,
The second I see him awake, I just like toss him off. I just throw him to the ground.
Damn it.
And then kind of I toss him off and like step over Ramus as I'm assuming he's on the ground.
I'll help him up.
Yeah, and I walk towards Bugfucker and just say, "You remember
it's
me?"
actually not. It's not Bugfucker.
Oh well, I still
Mahari.
think it
this
is.
is somebody.
I still think it is.
Okay,
So I just say like,
I was gonna say because this is somebody else. Yeah, we see.
okay,
That, yeah.
yeah. I just say, "Do you remember me?"
And he squints. He's got these kind of sickly, like jaundiced yellow eyes. Like, I don't know you, stranger. And you hear another voice from the brush, a woman's voice this time, say, "Who is it, Spoons?" And he just looks down. He's like, "Shh, trying to find out." And he doesn't point the gun at you, but he holds it up a little bit, like, "Yeah, look, I have a gun in case you didn't notice."
I realize we're not welcome here, but where's the master of these lands?
Well, now let's not be hasty. No one said you weren't welcome here. The temple is welcoming of all new worshippers. If you're here to worship.
I'm here to speak with whoever founded this. I'm an old friend.
I don't know what you mean, founded. And then there's that voice again. You're like, Spoons, what do they want? He's like, shut up. You're here to see His Holiness?
Sure, yes. And you can tell your friend, Spoons, that we do not wish to harm you.
It's not my friend, pal. It's my sister. And you hear the like rustling again, and this woman like peers out, and she looks to the point where she looks like a slightly smaller, slightly daintier version of him. They're clearly twins, but she has her head shaved in the same way, like kind of poorly. She has this like ratty robe on with like a rope. She's accessorized with a rope belt. And she has like, she has sandals on, and she stands up and she's like holding what looks like a clump of dirt, in her hands.
And I step forward. Forgive, my friend. We're here because we're supposed to be here. If you'll permit me. And I get down on the ground and I start making a spiral in the dirt. I saw this
I feel like I've seen the sign.
in my dream.
Make a deception check.
Yeah, that's right, goddammit.
Hey!
29.
You definitely get a glare from the fact that you're starting off this entire relationship with a lie. Like Maharib like
Okay,
looks
well,
down at you.
so this is great. I got a crit too, but I'm at -3 and you're at +9. So this person, they're pretty gullible to begin with, but we both really lucked out. But you beat him. So he like blinks, and actually let me roll for his sister, who's just slightly less gullible than he is. She can't beat him either. I actually got an 18, dropped down to 16. So they're both like, they look at each other and they look at the sign, and she makes like some kind of like hand sign. Like she makes like a hand seal and like touches her sternum, and he nods and he says, the great green worm came to you in your sleep. That's why you and your friends came here. You're pilgrims like us.
Oh yes.
And the sister comes forward, and he's just like, well, hey, like, we still don't know them. She doesn't have a gun. She steps forward and she comes close. She approaches you. Do you let her?
Yeah.
Okay, so she walks right up to you, and she puts her filthy hands. She drops the clod of dirt she was like doing whatever with, and she just puts her filthy hands right on your face, unless you like hold her back.
Do not even flinch.
Okay.
You're not
entirely sure. You're not entirely sure it was mud that she was digging around in. And she puts her hands on your face, and she like looks you in the eyes. She's got that same like sickly yellow kind of jaundiced eyes. And she says, His Holiness is going to be so pleased. It's been such hard work, just the three of us. And look how strong your friends are. Handsome too. And she like looks at Ramus and smiles, and she's missing like a bunch of her front teeth. And she just like smiles at you, Ramus, like, handsome too. She turns back to you. She turns back to you and she says,
you guys hear that? Ding, 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 ding. The fuck?
She turns back and she says, we've been taking shifts with the plow, but it's slow going. So now maybe we could get some rest and eat us something and praise the great worm.
You mentioned His Holiness. Does His Holiness have a name?
I just said it. And then you said it. Because he
Is
said
that
it
his
to
full
you
name?
before. And
Oh, yes. Is that his full name?
Well, that's what we call him. His Holiness, because he never told us his name. But I figure he gave it up to the worm for eating.
Oh, yes. I've given up many things. My friend here.
Her and her brother both nod like, yes, so have we. And he like kind of tries to take control again. And he strides up and he puts the rifle on his shoulder. And then he walks up to you, Maharib. And he says, sorry about threatening you before. We haven't had any new pilgrims, not since us. And we're the first two. His Holiness is in meditation, so we've just been carrying on the work. But like my sister said, I've forgotten my manners. I'm 10,000 spoons. This is my sister, Knife. Well, her whole name's All You Need Is a Knife, but I call her Knife.
God damn it!
And she just nods like, hi. And he says, but you call me Spoons. She's Knife, and well, His Holiness, he's in the inner sanctum. And he gestures at one of the like rotting tents.
Just sigh and walk forward.
Like towards the tent.
Yeah. I kind of
he's
brush him aside.
Yeah, so he, as you walk by, he's like, wait, hold on, you can't just go in there. His Holiness is meditating. You can't interrupt. We were given very explicit commands not to.
When will he be done meditating and give audience?
It doesn't stop me,
Kinda
by
shrugs.
the way. I continue.
Yeah, you're just like,
Yeah.
yep, okay, all right. So Ramus, you have all you need is a knife. She walks up to you, and she looks at you and like your burned face, and she's like, "Did you come from opportunity?"
Yes, we did.
We heard all the noise and saw the lights. It's a cursed place, and the great worms come to wake up and eat it in vengeance.
Something definitely is amiss. The whole place is in chaos.
Makes sense. His Holiness said that eventually that place would get swallowed up. Here we are. Prophecy's coming true.
How long ago did you say you met His Holiness?
We've been here. What comes after 10?
12.
That many cycles.
I tried kept thinking in my head, like, how long ago was it that Maharib came back from this place?
Yeah.
Like, how many days?
She's maybe not the best source of information on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like definitely after. I mean, Maharib never met them, and this place was in different shape a couple of days ago.
I heard stories about there used to be some other crazy person living here before you all. You know anything about him?
No, we didn't come out here originally for the calling. Just heard it along the way. We were coming because we were gonna be vein hunters. My brother and me. He's not too bad a shot, and I know my way around a sharp object. And I want to, Ramus, can you make a perception check for me?
Okay. 22.
Okay. All right. Okay. So she just says like, I know my way around a sharp object. But we part way along, we started having visions. And also, we didn't have papers to get into the city, and we'd kind of run out of money. So we thought maybe we'd come by the farm and see if there was anybody we could, part with their things. And then we had the revelation, and we've been working on the great works. So we'll get our reward eventually.
You keep saying the revelation. What? Was it like a vision? Did you see something?
She looks over at her brother, and her brother is like following Maharib, not to try to dissuade you, but to just be like, God, His Holiness is gonna be so mad. I gotta like apologize. Like he's following you nervously. And so she looks at him like, I'm not. Spoon says I'm not really supposed to talk about that.
I understand. You got to be a good sister and let your brother be the boss of you. I get it.
So what's great is that being inbred is impossible in this universe because no one can have babies. So you can have sex with your sister as much as you want, I guess. Like it wouldn't really be a taboo, which is like weird. Anyway, so she she says,
No.
yeah. Welcome to the void where you can marry your hot cousin.
Well, yeah.
Turns out the Court of the Void was just Shelbyville all along. So she looks over and she's like, well, I didn't give my word exactly. It's just, he's sensitive about it is all.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't see him around. I see him over there. So you're free to do whatever you want.
Be
your own woman.
Make a persuasion check.
7.
Ooh. Okay. All right. 7. So she's got -2 to resist your. Ooh, close. You see her be like, and she's like, I shouldn't. It's a matter of religious significance. I'm sure that if you want a revelation too, we could get you one. Hey, is your friend over there okay? And she looks, and you don't know if she's talking about Berg or about Little Action, but we just see Berg standing there holding a dead body.
And I will actually ask that. Like, Are you referring to the big one or the one being carried?
Both.
They're both all right. The one
Oh.
being carried died recently, and he'll be coming back soon.
Oh, well, she looks up.
He's-
We got a couple hours. Do you want to have a funeral or?
A funeral.
Oh yeah, you mark him with the spiral and ask the great green worm to send him back. Right. One time I got kicked in the head by some kind of beast and I didn't come back right, not at all. Spoons keeps giving me a hard time about stuff I don't remember. I think he's just making up stories, but I mean, everybody dies once or twice or 12 times.
Well, he didn't tell me before he died if he would have appreciated that yet. I was still wondering where his loyalties lie. But he's my companion, so we brought him along. We couldn't just leave him dead where he was. So, next time.
She kind of squints and she says, well, all right, for now. But His Holiness doesn't like spiritual equivocating. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like
if
that.
If His Holiness says that's what we need to do, then we will do it. Absolutely, without question. But I would like to hear from His Holiness first.
Can you, now that you're talking to her, can you make a perception check?
Sure. 15.
Okay. What is a small handheld item that you would carry on you, but like not in your hands or like clothes? What's your arcane focus? What is that? Is it a wand?
My arcane focus is it's a ruby brooch.
Okay. Yeah. So she while you're talking, she makes a face and she's like, oh, she holds your hand out. She's holding your arcane focus.
Well,
Just holds it out to you. Sorry.
more to you than I thought.
I don't do
giving
it
that
on
back to
purpose.
me?
She nods. Well, it's not mine. I don't want it. We're supposed to divest ourselves of material things.
Ah.
I just other people's things just kind of end up in my pockets. Sorry.
It's all right. You gave it back, and that's the important part. And I appreciate that. This is very important to me. Had you decided to keep it, I would be very sad.
Well, I don't want it.
I put it back, or put it back like where it was like situated,
Yeah. Okay.
and
I start checking my pockets to make sure I'm not missing anything now.
Yeah, you're like, nope, you're good. You're not missing anything.
mm-hmm.
And she
So before
she
you found,
she
this
hands it back
place,
in as you're putting it on. She walks away from you. Broken Promises.
Okay.
Walks towards Berg.
Yeah.
Berg, what are you doing while everybody else is like chatting?
Watching them confused.
Yeah.
And really kind of just waiting for them to get through the conversation. You might be getting slightly visibly like kind of irritated because he's fucking tired. Like,
Yeah.
and also he's been carrying Little Action, who is little. It's not like they're super. He doesn't like Little Action. He doesn't want to be around this dead body, and he's just growing more and more impatient. So,
Yeah.
if it continues going on, he will eventually interject.
Okay.
I was about to ask if there was a place. I'll just ask. All you need is a knife. Is there a place that we could sit down, possibly let our burdens down. This body is somewhere to lay it, perhaps wait until either His Holiness is done meditating, or until Maharib rouses him.
Yeah, she turns. She's walking over to Berg, and when you say it, she turns, looks over her shoulder, and she's like, "Oh, well, yeah." She points at the tent with a hole in it. Says, "We just been sleeping in there, so there's lots of room. I don't really have any stuff."
What does the tent look like? Is it a bag of shit?
It's not like a little tent, right? When I talk about tent, I mean like a big, like a pavilion tent kind of thing. I'm thinking of like it would be built on a framework of like wood or bone or something in the shape of like a dodecahedron, maybe. And it's like a big kind of like half sphere. And then there are some kind of like skins like stretched over it, over that framework. And it's got a big hole in it right now. And then there's an opening at the front.
Oh,
yeah. So she points at it and she's like, you can sleep in there. That's what we've been doing.
How far away? Yeah, is this kind of, can Berg hear all this? I don't actually know how far Berg.
Oh, yeah, it's happening right in front of you because she was just like walking.
I didn't know if Berg was like
in
in the background, further back. For some reason, that's how I was picturing it.
No, you're all in the same
area. So Berg
area.
hears that, he's like,
I'll be there.
and just grabs a little action and.
Okay, yeah, head over that way.
Going to rest.
Yep. I walk with him as far as the entrance of the thing, and then I make my way to wherever Maharib went, and I guess I'll stand outside if he's just gonna barge his way in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll cut back to Maharib. Amira is with you, Maharib, because you're both pretty like beat up, and so she wants to like make sure you don't get any worse beat up.
Right.
And you walk over and meanwhile, 10,000 Spoons is like, I really don't think this is a good idea. We were told not to come in here and he's not to be interrupted.
Yeah, as long as they're not getting in my way physically, then I will just continue walking and ignore what they're saying.
Okay. Yeah. So you just pass right by him and walk in. Okay. All right. So you go in and he, like, you see him be like, oh man, he's outside. Shit. But if I don't go in there, then he's gonna, fuck it. And he like walks in after you. And so you come inside and you've been here before.
Right.
But it is a mess. It is a nightmare mess. There is stuff everywhere. Like all of his stuff has just been thrown to the outside edge of the place. The floor, which was just like packed dirt before, has overlapping spirals, all covering it. They've all been scrawled in with various tools into the ground. His piles of books are laying like open, like scattered everywhere. All of his like lab equipment he had in the room is either broken or like flipped over. And in the middle of the room, you see a naked man. He is gaunt, as if he has not eaten in a long time. He's like kneeling, and he seems to be praying. He has his hands pressed together and his forehead pressed to his thumbs. And he's just in the middle of the room. He's not set, like the spirals don't all lead to him or anything. He's just like on his knees, just like praying. And his body is covered in like sores. You see like old wounds that have like grown back bad. He looks like he's been in a lot of really bad fights over the course of like several hundred years. He looks like the oldest, weakest like warrior who should have died in battle but couldn't do it. And yeah, he's just like covered in scars, and then also like some more fresh like wounds. He looks like he might be sick.
This
is who I knew to be Bugfucker?
Yeah. His hair is all like long and like yellow, like it's the color of like bones. And you can't see his face. He's got his back to you, and he's just like curled up in a ball.
Okay. I will like fully enter the tent if I'm not already.
Yeah.
Is he audibly praying, or does he just have his hands clasped and
He's
place.
rocking back and forth slightly. You can't hear anything he's saying.
Okay. In the rest of the room, is there like an idol or anything that he's praying to?
Nope.
Okay. After I survey the room, if he doesn't say anything after 5 or 10 seconds, I'll just say, sorry to be back here, old friend.
Amira and Spoons both look at you like, "Wait, what?" Like kind of like, huh? And Spoons says, he says like quietly at first, his voice kind of cracks a little bit. He's like, I'm sorry, Your Holiness. I told them they're outsiders. They've come. They say they're pilgrims. One of them has been having dreams, and I told them you weren't to be interrupted. But and then he gets interrupted by Bugfucker like throwing a hand up. And you can see that he's got like long, like broken, yellowed fingernails on his hand, and his hand is all, and again, the back of his arm, all covered in like scars. He definitely wasn't this bad off before. And he holds his hand up, and in this rasping voice, he says, "Spoons, get out." And Spoons is like, but Your Holiness, and he's like, "Out!" And Spoons just like, fuck, and like backs off in fear.
Yeah.
And he leaves the tent. Outside, you see Spoons come back out, and he looks like visibly shaken. He's already like chalk white, but like he's got this kind of haunted look in his face. And I think Berg, your new friend Knife, has like taken you into the other tent and helped you find a place for little action. So I don't know if anybody is still outside, but we see him come outside. Kind of startled.
I'm standing outside the.
Yeah, so you're outside the tent.
Broken
Okay.
Promise
So yeah,
is
you see
outside.
him, and he's just standing there holding his gun. Inside though, Maharib. So he's just got his hand up, and then he like slowly lowers it.
Okay. Yeah, if he's out of the tent, I'll walk a little bit closer. Did you start a fucking cult? What is going on?
And he gets up. And it looks like it hurts. Like he's very slow to stand, and there's like creaking, and he stands up and he turns, and you see that he's grown like a long yellow beard, and his beard kind of like gets like gnarled and matted with his like chest hair in the middle of his chest, and just kind of continues down his body, and he's like badly malnourished. You can see like the space between the bones where his like flesh is like holding to them, and he looks at you, his like rictus face, and his eyes are all roomy and yellow, and he looks at you as if trying to place like, who the fuck is this guy?
Do you even remember who I am, or is your mind gone?
Not gone. Clear. Free. I've learned and forgotten so many things. Who are you? Why are you here? Spoons seems to think that you're a disciple, like him and his sister, but that's not true, is it?
No, that was
Know you. And her. Why?
a lie. One of my friends told to get us into this room.
Well, it worked.
You honestly do not remember me.
I'm like a jar. It's been broken and glued back together so many times. I can only hold water some days. Your face. I feel like I should hate you for some reason.
Probably because she
It's
exists.
like
And I like sidestep so that she's in clear view, just to shock him.
yeah, and Amira looks at you like, what are you doing? Don't make him look at me, fuck! And so you step aside, and he looks at her. He squints. There's something. You're like a thorn in my side. I don't. How do you want? You didn't come here just to torture me.
No, we need shelter. Then we're leaving.
Fine. I don't care. I'm not using the tent anymore. Well, this one I am. But the other one, do whatever you want.
I start to walk out as if I'm done, but then I stop. What is it you're doing? Why do you have disciples or followers, whatever those two are? Those idiots outside.
They came to rob me, you know. I remember that much. I think they thought I had juice. And they're not wrong, I did. That's how I got in this mess in the first place. But, it's foggy after that. I guess they decided to stick around. I've been seeing things. It's clear now. Memory's a burden. It's a curse. It's why we come back without it. See, the Basilica, they lied to everybody, and they said that the coming back was a blessing, but it isn't. It's not. It's a curse, and I fucking figured it out. And while he's speaking, he holds his arms out, and you can see that there's just these like deep, awful like scars layered over and over on them. And he's got like a collar of scars and like almost like a rash, like this red like ring around his neck. And he says, for a while I had a system. Every time I came back, gone again. I lost something. Unburdened myself. There's clarity left over. I'm seeing things in a way I never did before. All this shit, and he gestures at like all the trash and stuff. It's like, this belongs to a fool. Madman, idiot. The only power we have is choice. I choose to forget. So whoever you two are, whatever history we have, I'm sorry you remember it. But that's your burden and not mine. I forgot you on purpose.
Very well. We'll be gone a couple of hours. You don't have a night and day here.
Is there any way I would have heard him? Because he started raising his voice, and Basilica is something that would
Yeah,
be a
you
trigger
would have
word
heard
for me,
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Knife holding guard outside?
Not really. He's standing
Okay.
there like uncomfortable, but you could probably walk past him.
Okay. Well, as soon as I hear Basilica, I'll walk past him and go in.
He makes a tiny effort, like, maybe you shouldn't, and then you just walk past him.
Yeah. And like, I listen to the conversation until this point. Like, I don't like speak up or make my presence known or anything like that.
Yeah, I think I turn and I see you like walking in. I'm maybe a little surprised by that. Is there something I can help you with, Broken Promises? This is not the man I knew, but we have our shelter for the evening, day, whatever.
No. I heard the Basilica. I was wondering if there was anything I could do to help.
You heard the ramblings of a madman. That's nothing more.
And then I kind of lean past Maharib to take a look.
Yeah.
And you see like this weird look on her face. She kind of like Broken Promises moves back a little bit. And then kind of just like steps around you gently. Not trying to like force your way past or anything, but looks directly at the madman and says, Savant of Secrets, is that you?
And he wrinkles his nose and he says, you're mistaken, young lady. Whoever you came here looking for, I killed him a long time ago.
Is that why you have all of this and all of this?
He nods. I was cruel with myself the first few times. Can't remember why.
Do you remember anything of your former lives?
Nothing. Not a thing. All empty now. Free of all that cruelty. You don't necessarily think that that's true. It's putting on a bit of a show.
Okay. Now, in all my experience in the void and you know, living here,
Yeah.
has there ever been a case of someone dying so many times that they are just mindless? They've forgotten everything. Does that happen?
No, usually, and this is the great blessing of the void, is that the void will claim you and you don't come back, right? That if you're
Okay.
good enough, the Basilica and several other like void religions within the court, they believe that you give up what is like suffering and bad for you, then you try again, and then eventually the void keeps you. Eventually you've earned the right to not have to come back. And so there are all of these like perfectly preserved empty bodies that get canonized, basically. If you go to a Basilica church, there's just empty bodies like laid out as people who have transcended their existence. They've joined the void again.
When you say empty
yeah.
bodies, what do you mean by empty bodies?
Well, like, we talked about how sometimes people don't wake up. This is what happened to Gun Princess. She didn't want to come back. Where
Okay.
you die, and then the thing comes, the sun does its thing, and then they just stay dead. But the body's never decomposed, because that's just not a thing.
Right,
And those
okay,
people
okay.
in
So
the Basilica are
uncomposing
considered,
dead
they're considered
bodies.
saints, right? They're, corpse bodhisattvas, right? Like, hooray, they have done it. They've been freed from their terrible cycle.
I thought that's what you meant, but I just wanted to clarify.
Yep.
So I will look at His Holiness or whatever, and say, well, I have a very intimate knowledge of the Basilica, and I know that if that were true, you wouldn't be talking to me right now. You still have
Student of the Basilica. You've been lied to, girl. Everyone has.
lies or no. When you have nothing left for the void to take, the void takes the rest. Is that not true?
Not in my experience. And I've got plenty.
So you're holding on.
That's not how it works. I'm free. Every death, clearer. I can see the truth. We're close to it.
So you've decided to worship that which has never been worshipped. That which does not need your worship. The great green worm.
He shakes his head. Not worship, exactly. But that's not why you're here. You and your friends just need somewhere to rest. Freeloaders on their way out of town before that cursed place falls in on itself. Before that
we need
pustule bursts.
a little more than that.
Well, look elsewhere. I'm busy. He turns around. Like, I don't
Busy?
want to talk to you anymore.
Busy with what?
And he like goes down on his hands and knees and starts like, working on whatever spiral he was working on before.
Are you in need of more followers? Or are you just alone forever?
He says to you, but away. It says away from you. He says, "We're all alone. That's how it works." Besides, didn't you see the sign? If you're not here to help, go fuck yourself.
Help what?
He looks frustrated over his shoulder. Well, I can't pull the fucking plow by myself, can I? If you want to help, ask the twins.
Are you willing to do a trade? We need juice for our vein hunter. You need a plow. You need a field plowed.
He shrugs and he says, don't talk to me about that. Any juice I had left over, 10,000 spoons has it now. That's why they came here in the first place.
They
Try to
seem to
rob me.
revere you as someone who's holy. They call you His Holiness. Did you give them that
It's an
title?
act. He shakes it. It's all just an act. Excuse. Stick around.
What do they want from you?
He shrugs. I don't give a shit.
I remember you. Not as bug fucker or whatever. I remember you as... What was it? The Savant of Secrets, but there was more to it. You were... scientist. Researcher. Very experimental. Always a little bit crazy, but you could still survive within society. And then
So Maharib, while Broken Promises is talking, you can like you can see Bugfucker grinding his teeth and like he's getting pissed. And do you do anything or like you just let him get angry?
I think I left the room the second I noticed that.
You walked out. Okay.
Yeah, like I didn't stick around once Broken Promises kind of sidestepped me and walked in the room. But I was there long enough to
okay.
notice that he was getting upset. I just didn't
Yeah,
care.
okay.
Like he's if he's gonna write me off, but we're staying here, then I don't care. I'm not coming back to this place. Like I think
Okay.
pre Tiefling Maharib might have cared, but now he just doesn't give a fuck.
Sure. Okay. So Broken Promises, you're like talking like I used to be someone like a scientist and he
you used to quest for knowledge. And now it appears you've gone the opposite way.
and he turns to look at you again. He turns all the way around. He's like on his knees. And he looks up at you and he says, he's like, I told you, whatever you came here looking for, it's dead. That man you think I was, he died. Then I became something else, and that died too. There's nothing left. I'm just a hollow scarecrow. That's the way it's supposed to be. Get the fuck out of my house. He's like clutching a jar or something that he had sitting near him. You leave?
I turn to go. I leave. And I just like, nah, never mind. I'll just leave.
Okay, yeah. So as you turn, and then you walk out, and you just hear him turn around like, "Fucking annoying me in the middle of my work." And yeah, so you come out. So Maharib, you and Amira have a moment outside. But Ramus and Berg, you two are you're in the other. I guess is Berg Ramus. You went with Berg to the other tent.
We could take a break,
Yeah.
by the way, if you want to do this before we jump into it. We're a little bit over.
Yeah, that's a great point. So let's take a break there. So I think we have Broken Promises turn and walk out. I completely like lost track of time. Thank you, JP. Turns and walks out, and then we fade out and we'll fade back in. We'll see what Berg and Ramus are getting up to with the sister of the twins.
Cool. All right. Don't go there. We'll be right back with more Court of Swords right after this. We'll see you guys then.